So I hope everybody's having a good summer. It's finally summertime. It's gonna be my first video that I'm dropping in the hot weather. And in this video, I'm gonna be explaining the benefits of wearing oversized pants, as I promised in my last two videos about pants. I believe the video where I showed you guys how to crease a pair of Dickie pants 874s and then how to crease the Levi 501s. I mentioned in both of those videos that I always oversize my pants, even though there's a lot of things that you have to put into consideration, a lot of things, and a lot of things come with experience as well. In this video, I'm going to give it to you guys, the entire thing, full thing. I'm going to tell you guys the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I'm not going to leave anything out, but this video will be relatively short. It's not like I'm creasing a pair of 501s, which takes forever. So right here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons. So I'm going to go through these reasons, and then after I'll explain those many things that you have to put into consideration, such as how tall you are, the length of the inseam, the length of the waist, which, by the way, I'm mostly going to be explaining why it's beneficial to oversize the waist length, not the inseam length. That's a different factor. But a lot of things you have to put into consideration, like your height, weight, the inseam length, the cuff, how many times you could cuff your pants, the length of the cuff itself, and how to, whatnot. So first, number one is that if you have oversized pants, me personally, when you wear fashion, your style, it's like, when I go to a concert, well, I don't attend concerts, but I've worked at a couple, filming, doing this, taking pictures and whatnot. Remember I was at it was a concert with many people, like Above the Law and a bunch of old school rappers, the Dove Shack, I remember. But the main, I think it's called a headliner. I don't know, because I don't even attend concerts like that, but I think the headliner, who was like the main event, was Sugar Free. He was there. And I remember when I was there, all Chicanos, right? Like all old school, this and that. But see, the thing is like the difference between me and, because I already know me, I'll get categorized as, oh, he's a cholo, or he's just a Chicano. He's just, buying big oversized pants. But it's not any of that, I keep it formal. I don't keep it informal, which I'll get into in a bit, the difference between bagging and sagging and all that. But the difference between me and pretty much all those people is, and I don't mean to disrespect anybody, okay? And, they're keeping the style alive, and I respect that. But at the same time, the difference between me and them is let's just say they'll buy a Charlie Brown, or they'll buy a Ben Davis half zip, buy some FB County khakis, throw it on, and just there you go. But see, me, what makes me different, what makes me stand out, is my character and the effort and hours of work I put into my style, and years of experience as well. And one thing that definitely adds a factor into my style that separates me from many other people that try to dress old school is when I pleat my pants. And pleated pants, obviously this is not a real pleat, like when you get them tailored and you get them pleated, which I'll try to look for, because I don't have any real pleated pants, but I'll try to look for a picture online, show you guys what real pleated pants are. But then I'll show you guys what I'm talking about when I pleat my pants. I'll record a little video right now and I'll put it over. Pretty much it's when you put the two belt loops together, because your pants are actually so big that you have a bunch of excess material, whatever material it is, cotton, denim. Well, cotton and denim are actually the same thing. Shout out to the homie that left a comment on my 501s video. But whether it's cotton, denim, polyester, whatever, you're left with a bunch of excess material. So you pull it to the front and line it up in the front, which obviously it's best said with a, a visual image, which I'll show you guys. Pull it to the front, and now it adds a whole completely different look to you. Like it looks different. Now, if you don't have your shirt tucked, nobody's really gonna notice. That's why I always have my shirt tucked. So not only do you have your shirt tucked, now the front of your pants are pleated. So now you have two different things. A lot of people don't tuck their shirt anymore. A lot of people don't tuck their shirt anymore. So now you have your shirt tucked. Now you have the front of your pants pleated, because they're both gonna go hand in hand. The thing is that once you have the front of your pants pleated, you're gonna want to show it off. So now you got to tuck your shirt. And you know, sometimes, I mean, you could just tuck the front of your shirt. That's a thing too. But do I do that a lot? No. If you want to do that, up to you. Then again, it all goes into how many people are doing that, only tucking the front of their shirt. I've only seen maybe one person. I think I saw a picture of, I think it was Criminal or Capone. He had like the front of his shirt tucked, but then again, it was a jersey and he was wearing shorts. So, you know, you got to put all those things into consideration. How are you going to stand out? You know, how is this going to, and with everything aside, because, you know, the best thing you could do for your look, your style, obviously go to the gym, get swole. That's why, you know, I'm in my wife beater, I'm about to hit 200 pounds, you know. That's the best thing I could do for my look, is not ironing or doing any of that. It's lifting weights and getting big. But this video is besides all that, you know, once you have that down. Now, so the pleat gives you a whole completely different look. Now, my second reason is this is extremely more comfortable. Bigger pants are just, okay, forget skinny jeans, right? Throw that out the picture. Let's just say I wore, like, my actual waist size is about a 32 last time I measured it. But then again, I was about 25, 30 pounds lighter. So I'm sure I know for a fact I've put on some weight, because my belt, I've had to loosen it. That's my actual waist size last time I measured it. I usually buy a 42 to 44. But then again, I can go up to a size 60 since I'm 6'2". It's not going to look that baggy. So the measurement of the waist also affects the size of the leg. So let's say I bought a size 32. That's going to be pretty tight around my legs. I have big legs too. So that's going to be pretty tight around my legs when I'm walking, moving, doing whatever. And me, look, okay, it does all come down to preference at the end of the day, but me, that's extremely uncomfortable. I don't like to feel my jeans like tight around my legs. I don't even, sometimes, like, I don't even like that with my shirts, but sometimes, like, it feels cool. Like, example, I'm in a wife beater right now. It does feel good, but with my pants, never, ever. So when I wear bigger pants, it just feels extremely 1,000 times more comfortable. It's almost like I have more room in my pants to breathe. Like, I hate skinny jeans. I think maybe when I was little, my grandma had me, like, bought me one, and then my dad was like, yeah, don't ever wear that again. But other than that, yeah, when I'm wearing fitted jeans, like my actual size, they're just tight around my legs. Like, it's just not comfortable for me. Now, another thing too, and this might, I don't want to say shock some people, but some people might be like, yeah, right, like, this dude is definitely lying. But this could actually make your pants last longer. My best example is my first pair of 501s. After wearing, this was when I did not oversize my 501s, right? Or oversize my pants at all, for that matter. With my first pair of 501s, I remember I had them for about a year. And if you guys have ever wore 501s before, you know it doesn't have a zipper. They have like five or six buttons. So on my 501s, eventually after a year, one of the buttons just fell out. So they started, you know, breaking, pretty much started falling apart. But see, now that I wear oversized, I wear about 10 sizes up, I don't have to unbutton or button my 501s. I just slide them on. That's another, it's extremely, I would say it's extremely beneficial with specifically 501s, because 501s, you got to button them. It takes especially if they're like brand new, it's super hard to button them and unbutton them. But see, with this, you just undo your belt, slide your pants off, you know. Perfect if you're trying to get lucky, you know. I mean, okay, well, I won't even go into that. I'll keep it PG-13, my bad. And it's almost like, now that I think about it, it's almost like the equivalent of, let's say, your phone charger. Your charger, when you, after plugging it into your phone and unplugging it for so long, that charger is going to wear out and eventually it will not work. Like, let's just say it has 1,000 uses. It's like the same thing as unbuttoning and buttoning your 501s. You're wearing them down eventually. Now, I'm pretty much done with the benefits. So now I'm gonna get into everything you have to put into consideration. So first thing is first, right? This is not for you guys to have your pants looking baggy, and I definitely don't want anybody watching this to sag their pants. I highly vote against sagging your pants. It's extremely informal. It's definitely no way for a man to carry himself, no way for a female to carry herself. If there's a female out there watching this, or even I don't know, like whatever gender there is out there now, you know, we got so many now. Like, whatever you are, it's definitely not, I don't care. It's definitely no way for you to carry yourself to sag your pants. But the difference between sagging and having baggy pants is, saggy is when you literally have no belt, your pants are loose and you're just like hanging them down below your butt. That's extremely informal. You're not disrespecting it. You're not disrespecting anybody around you when you do that, but you're disrespecting yourself. So if there's anybody that out there that's watching this, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody when I say this, but I would highly recommend you stop. It's just, you gotta carry yourself a certain way as a man or woman to gain respect from others. And honestly, when I see a person who is sagging their pants, it's definitely going to take a while for them to get my respect. You know what I mean? So you got to put everything into consideration. I believe it's like I said in my Dickies video, you know, when let's say I go to school, you know, I go to PCC, Pasadena City College. Let's say, you never know who you're going to run into. You never know. This person might own this dude might own a gym. This dude might own a company that's about to blow up online. And before you even go to, like, let's just take me for an example. Before I even go to shake this man's hand, or woman, or whatever, non-binary, before I go to shake their hand, I know for a fact that they've already noticed that my pants are creased, my shoes are shined, my shirt is tucked, I'm looking super formal, and I reach out for them, shake their hand. But that's the thing though. Before I even shook their hand, I've already made an impression on them. Trust me. The first impression on you, that's going to set the foundation for how they perceive you forever. Especially if you have a long relationship with this person. They'll always think about that day. You want to make a strong first impression. Now, don't get me wrong. Also has a lot to do with how you carry yourself. If you're standing up straight, or if you're slouched over, screw all that. You want to stand up straight. You want to stand up strong. Never look at the ground. Well, unless you're like about to, you know, watching where you walk. But you want to look straight ahead. You can keep your head high, you know. And I know this might be considered getting a bit personal, but this is all of this is tied together, and this channel is for the benefit of anybody out there watching this that's trying to benefit themselves, and I'm just trying to pass down knowledge to them. And anyway, so getting back on the subject of sagging and bagging. So bagging, on the other hand, would be when it's pretty much only when you oversize the inseam, which would be the length. So let's say if I wear a length 32, if I buy like a length 40, which is going to be really hard to find, but if I buy like a length 40, then my pants are going to look very baggy. Even if I hold my pants up to like my belly button and put my belt on it, they're going to look baggy, because there's going to be a bunch of crinkles, because I'm gonna have to fit the length. See, now if I wear a length 32, then it'll be fitted. The crease will go down straight. It'll never crinkle. Well, I mean, even if you have like one crinkle, like just at the bottom, that's perfect. You know, if you have like one crinkle, it's perfect. But if you have none, that's even better, you know, but preference, you know. But then that would be what's baggy. So keep in mind, as I mentioned before, your height and weight. So since I'm 6'2", I could wear a length 32 and wear up to a size 60, and I'll be chilling. The length is going to be perfect. Another thing to put into consideration is when you buy a larger waist length with pants, it does add length to the inseam, which I'm not 100% sure why that is. I'm not really sure. But when you, like, let's say I get size 38, 32 pants, then I get that same pair of pants, size 60 by 32. The 60s are gonna be longer. Even though it's a length 32, they're gonna be longer. So you also have to put that into consideration. And then also your weight. As I've been gaining a lot of weight, muscle mass, I've been noticing I have to loosen my belt. So eventually I might have to buy an even bigger size. But if you want to start doing this, I would recommend starting by first measuring your waist and buying about 10 sizes up, because that's what I was doing when I first started doing this. And as far as anything else that you have to put in, oh yes, cuffs. So if, let's say, you have to purchase your clothes online for whatever reason, never feel afraid to oversize the inseam. Obviously don't go crazy on it, but if you want to buy, let's say you wear like a 30, get like a 32 and see how that fits. And if it's too long, then cuff it. If it's still too long, do a double cuff. I wouldn't recommend doing anything more than the double cuff. But if that's still too long and you're like, damn, I mean, I already bought these pants, like, and I just did a double cuff, they're still too long, uncuff them. Okay, well, also you have to put in consideration how big your cuff is. So let's say you do a 1-inch cuff. Me personally, I do a 1/2-inch cuff on my 501s, and I do a 1-inch cuff on my Ben Davis pants and my Dickie pants. So let's say on my Ben Davis, right, they're a bit too long and I did a double cuff and they're still too long, I'll uncuff them, cut off about 1 inch where the original cuff is, where if you flip them inside out, you could see at the end there's like a little inseam. Not an inseam, but like a seam. I don't know how to explain it. Cut that part off, then do a double cuff, and then it'll be even shorter. And then at that point, you're chilling. So I hope you guys have a good summer. Enjoy the sun, enjoy the hot weather while it's here. I know a lot of people don't like it, but then it's gonna be cold, and then we're gonna be like, oh, I wish it was hot. So enjoy the summer, enjoy the rest of your guys' day. I hope you learned something new. I reply to all of my comments, so if you have any questions, if you need any help with your pants, with your style, getting to learn the style, let me know in the comment section. And remember, it's not an easy skill to learn. It takes many years to master.